Hello, hello, and happy Friday, everybody. It's 𝒂𝒂𝒗𝒆, voice and presentation coach. And today, again, we are here for Experts Interview Friday. Now, today is all about getting seen on Google, heard and seen #1 on Google. And who doesn't want that in business? This is so important these days to be found. So my guest this morning, her name is Sonja, and she's known as the Search Queen. She's a Google search expert. She's the founder of the Marketing Republiq, which is an agency nationwide focused on getting clients' businesses found on Google by their ideal client and for the problems that they're trying to solve for that client. She has successfully generated over $95 million in sales for clients since her business started just 3 years ago. It's incredible what she's been able to achieve. Now, Sonja also holds an honors degree and a master's in marketing, has been in the global marketplace and advertising industry for more than 15 years, and she's worked on some of the world's the leading brands across the world, such as Guinness, Jameson, Nestle, L'Oreal, Special K, just to name a few. So please welcome to the show today, Sonja. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Elisa. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you. Now, guys, you're seeing this live across 2 channels today. You'll see this if you're inside Facebook. You're probably inside my group called Find Your Voice Aspiring Speakers Club. And right below this post, this live stream that you'll see coming out on Friday, 8:30 a.m., you'll see you can put underneath the stream, you can put some comments and questions for Sonja or for myself. So if you're seeing this in a replay, just put #replay and you can ask the same questions, and both Sonja and I will go back into the group and double check that we can answer all your questions. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube live, you'll see this premiered live on Friday morning. You could be seeing it on a different time zone around the world, but again, you can answer questions live or ask questions live. So this will be given straight to us and we'll be able to answer your questions straight after the stream. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, now, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, you have an amazing business and we've done some work together. I'm really looking forward to doing more work with you regarding SEO. So tell me how you got started in the whole business and why you were even inspired to start doing this sort of work.
Yeah, absolutely. I never realized it was my passion and my purpose to start a business until my business actually found me. So how I started my business was I've worked for 3 or 4 different agencies in Australia, and I'm very much a values-driven person. And what I realized is my values never aligned with the people I worked for. So how it all came about was that the relationships I built with other clients at previous agencies, in the space of 1 week back in August 2018, in 1 week I had 10 previous clients approach me to say, can you just do your own thing? There's nobody like you out there. So I didn't really leave a job to start a business. So I had a business before I started, if that makes sense. And what happened, it just grew organically, and very much I have always been attached to the outcome of results, not financial. So for me, it was so much more than just like, okay, you own a business. Time freedom and financial freedom was never my driving force. It was more about fulfilling my life purpose of helping people and helping business owners. And what I find is that from the work that I do, I can help businesses transform and make them profitable so they can spend more time with the people and the loved ones that they love to spend time with. Because as a kid growing up, my mom worked 3 jobs to keep a roof over our heads. So I didn't really see a whole lot of mom at the time. So I know that it's so important for children to have their family around. So that is kind of it's very aligned with my purpose. So yeah, and from there, it's just been, it's grown strength to strength. In the first year, I was very much under the radar. I was a sole trader working for myself. And I didn't really plan on growing the business. And then when I started seeing the phenomenal results and started seeing a lot of things happen in the industry that didn't align with me, I was like, okay, I really need to put myself out there. So in 2019, in 2019 was really only when I put myself out there. So really about 1.5 years is all I've been like really been in the spotlight. So yeah, it's been tremendous, and I've loved every part of it. It's honestly, I jump out of the bed in the morning, knowing that what I'm doing is completely on passion and on purpose. So yeah, so I love what I do. So yeah, I hope that answers that.
Oh, absolutely. And how many parents would be out there? And I did the same thing. I was working 7 jobs when my child was little because I was a single parent, and I
Mm,
didn't know any better back then. I just worked harder and I got more jobs. You know, there's so
mhm.
many of us, I think, that do that. Instead of working smarter or differently, we just work
Yes,
harder and we work longer hours. And it's not
yes.
necessarily the way to go.
No,
So, and I think
no.
you've already maybe answered this, but what's the biggest thing that you do first with a business owner? So when they first
Yep.
come into your fold, what's the very first thing that you do to help?
Yeah. So I've a lot of different businesses that come to me, ranging from multi-million dollar businesses to really business owners that are just starting out. And what I always would have a conversation with them to find out what their goals are. And 9 times out of 10, some businesses aren't ready to market their business. So I'll never take on a client with the intention of just taking them on and seeing how it goes. If I know I can't get that client a result, I turn them away. So when I say a result, I mean help them get results on Google. So how I help businesses that already have a very clear strategy, and know they're pretty much an established business. And I help them become found on Google by their ideal client. And that is through search engine optimization and Google Ads. There are other elements within my agency that we do, but again, first and foremost, SEO is the backbone of any business that we take on. And in order to have a strong SEO, a strong website on Google, the foundation needs to be really, really rock solid from an SEO perspective. And then from there, what happens is the marketing actually ends up paying for itself once we've hit that period of time. So SEO is a longer term strategy, but Google Ads is an instant strategy. So the overall goal of what I do is I drive leads to business owners, so that they can convert them into sales. Or if they're an online shop, I help drive the sales through the online shop. So the marketing pays for itself and they make profit off the work that I do. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how
And,
and
and this,
also I do help smaller business owners as well, which is a new program I'm working on. And the reason being is that a lot of the smaller businesses that come to me, they don't have a strategy in place and they don't really have an understanding of marketing. So they might be doing a bit of social or a bit of Facebook ads and a bit of this and a bit of that, but it's not really a strategy aligned with what their target audience is looking for. So I help them develop a strategy through my online program so that their price point is a lot lower, for smaller businesses, so they can actually avail of my services, but at a very low price point that would fit with their budget. And that is something that is pretty much nearly ready to launch. I have a few businesses yeah, it's very exciting. And the feedback I've been getting from the existing beta test group has been incredible. So yeah, I just have a huge passion. I feel like my purpose and the reason why I've put on this earth is to help businesses grow. And I absolutely adore what I do. And I'm not in it for the wrong reasons. I'm in it to make a business profitable and transform them. So, because I know it's possible. So yeah.
yeah, it's a whole new world that we live in. And how many
Absolutely.
people like me have a skill or an expertise in something? We're not versed in marketing. We didn't go
No.
to school and get a marketing degree. We didn't even get
Mhm.
a business degree. And even as
Mm.
a singer, I felt that was one of the things that I was always lacking, because I may have had all this training in singing and be able to sing in front of 10,000 people or whatever.
Mm.
But how do you market yourself even as a performer? That was never
Yes.
covered. It was one of these
Hmm.
things that I never learned. As a singing teacher or a voice coach or a
Yeah.
speaking coach, we're trained
Yeah.
in certain things, but we're certainly not trained in business. And that's why we need
Hmm.
people like you. Because
Hmm.
without people like you to teach us the next steps, how on earth are we going to grow? So I think that what you've done
100%.
with that online course is a really, really smart thing. There are so many people
Mm.
that need that basic understanding first. How
They
do I
do.
put this whole business proposition and marketing plan together and then move forward in a bigger way? You can't just take leaps and bounds before you
Yeah.
can't even walk. You need to crawl and then walk and
100%.
run.
100%, because I see businesses that come and they're like, I just want more leads, but they're not ready to market their business. So they have to put in, the way I say it is like you need to do the work on the house before you're ready to put it on the market. And that's what that program is. It solves that problem. So yeah, because otherwise they end up wasting their money. So, and that's not really ideal, when you work very hard for it. 100%.
Exactly. So what are the biggest things that you've learned in the last 3 years as a business owner so far?
Yeah. So for me, belief in myself is key, and backing myself no matter what. Like, I've been in so many uncomfortable situations with growing my business, like Facebook Lives, putting myself on social media, fear of judgment, all of those lovely stuff that come with you really having to believe in yourself. And for me, without the belief in myself, I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I've achieved today. And it's not actually about me. It's about the impact that I can make on other businesses. So belief in myself has been a huge thing. Like, I've done massive work around my mindset, and I've had to, because I had to get out of my own way. If I'm making this all about me, it's never going to grow, So that has been a huge thing, definitely. Consistency is another one. So consistency, when my first year of business, I worked from home, and, you do have that child's like, oh, I can work in activewear today. I don't need to dress up. But again, what I found is actually presenting yourself and, treating your business as if it is not just a hobby, and treating it as a job, and you work for somebody else. Like, because always I find it's you're more likely to do something else for somebody else than to do something for someone else than you are for yourself. So remembering, that I actually have value here, and I'm working for somebody else, not myself. So I kind of tricked my brain. So consistency, it's been, and it's one of those things, because you can take the easy road and work in your gym jams or activewear, but if you present yourself and you're serious, the universe hears all that, and then they show you all those challenges that go with that. So consistency has been a huge thing. And also goals, like setting goals has been fundamental for me. Like, I do a vision board each year, and I'm a visual person. I have photographic memory, so when I see something, I hold it in my mind, and it's like a magnet. I'm a big Tony Robbins fan as well, so I'm all about goals. But yeah, last year alone, I hit 80% of my vision board. And that's all because I'm driving for the next goal. What's next? So yeah, my team very much have this running joke internally, keeping up with Sonja, the search queen, because there's always something new that I want to achieve. And they're like, okay, hold your horses. Let's just achieve one goal at a time. There's usually about 5 that we're driving for. So yeah, so it's pretty funny. And then the last thing for me is lessons I've learned, not being attached to the outcome. So, like, there's a lot of people that get into business, especially in my industry, for the wrong reasons. And if you're attached to the financial outcome and you're trying to make more clients, you just want more clients and you want more this, and it's all about you, like, your audience feels that. But if you present yourself and add value and don't expect anything in return and just be seen as the person to serve, people gravitate to that, and they just are magnetized to what it is that you have to say, because they're getting to know you as a person. So that has been fundamental for me, definitely. So those would be my top things that I have learned, definitely. There are obviously a heap other, but they all kind of fall into around those categories. So yeah, so those would be the top things that I would have learned throughout my journey. Actually, there's another thing. My first year of business, I didn't really understand tax. So I didn't understand I had to pay the tax man for the income that I earned. I thought your first 75k was GST free, but GST free, not tax free. So that was something I learned. Definitely. And another thing that I learned was workers' comp. So I didn't realize, obviously, I'm like, oh, I need insurance. I'm sure I need insurance, but what insurance do I need? So yeah, that was another thing I learned, is like, you actually, if you have any staff, you need workers' comp. I thought it was for people that do manual work, but we're sitting at a desk. Yeah, good. Like, I didn't really get burned badly, but I wish I knew them before I started the journey, really.
Yeah. That's what we do, what we learn. You can think about all these things ahead of time, but once you start to jump in and do, you learn so much more.
Yeah, 100%.
And look, I'm a little watching the time here because I've got other things that I need to run to as well, and I don't want to take up your time because I know that you're really busy today. But let's move on to the next couple of questions because this will really help people. And then when you stick around, guys, you'll see at the end, I'm going to show you a banner where you can actually get some help from Sonja and get some really, really great free training as well. So what are the most common marketing issues that you see with business owners when they come to you?
Yeah, so the number one that I do see, there's a lot of people that book calls with me, but they don't have a budget for marketing. But if they don't have a budget for marketing, they can't market their business, if that makes sense. So it's like they want to win the lotto, but they don't want to buy the ticket, you know? So in order to win the lotto, you need to have bought the ticket. So budget for marketing, not having a budget for marketing is a huge thing because it's like, yeah, I want all of this, but they're not prepared to part with their hard-earned cash. So that would be a huge problem that I see, and they don't have enough marketing budget. The goal of marketing is to make you money, not cost you money when it's done correctly, and that's my goal, what I do. Strategy, so no strategy. They take it on the role of nearly, oh yeah, I can do marketing. I'm good at marketing. And it's kind of like, are you really? Unless your business is growing, you're not good at marketing, and you need a strategy in order to market your business. And I always say is like, you would never take on the role of your accountant and do your tax return and the ATO and all the financial planning that goes with that. Marketing is no different. It's an area of specialty and expert field that requires years of education and experience in order to achieve the result. So because social media is a lot more accessible and people can do a post here, there and everywhere, it doesn't mean that you're any good at marketing. So that's unfortunately a growing phenomenon that I see. And then also not a lack of focus on the problems that you solve. So a lot of the social media content and a lot of the noise that we see out there is just people, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. And it's kind of like, you're making this all about you. You actually need to focus on the problem that you solve rather than putting it all about you and be like, oh, I just want more clients, customers, sales. It needs to be about focusing on the problems you solve. And then another one for me would be businesses that come to me have lost faith in Google because they've been burnt in the past. So their expectations have been raised through the roof and completely unrealistic and not even in line with what Google would even say. And they've been burnt so much that they don't trust Google as a means of lead generation. So they just don't do it anymore. But nothing makes me happier than seeing a business come to me and then being able to turn their business around and then completely restore their faith in Google Ads or SEO for that matter. It's absolutely makes my heart sing. I had one client specifically that paid for 3 years of management fee for Google Ads, and there was no optimizations done to the campaign in 3 years, and they spent over $110,000 on ad spend. On management fee. So there was no work done. And so they paid 110 grand for nothing, pretty much. So yeah. Yeah, and you can check all of this. You can check all this in Google Ads, but people don't know where to look. If you check the change history, you can see what's been done and what's not been done. So, yeah, those would be the common problems that I see, Elisa. I know that we're short on time, so yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, and we've got a couple of things. Then I'm going to tell you guys where to find Sonja, and that's the most important thing. Just quickly, why did you pick Google specifically?
Yeah, well, the reason why I picked Google was pretty much to do with, traditional advertising and marketing is all really dated. So in terms of when you're even deciding on a marketing budget, it's 10% of your overall gross income, gross profit, and 50% of that gross profit needs to be invested in online marketing activities, purely because content consumption is at an all-time high, and it has been for years. So if the whole world is moving digitally, it would make sense to invest your efforts on digital. And when it comes to Google, it's something that I'm so passionate about because there's so many people that do get it wrong. But when you find the sweet spot and you can set up campaigns around the problems that client solves, it's just like, it's bliss. Like every one of our clients are getting incredible results and the marketing's paid for itself. They're just making profit. Like that to me is like, yeah, that means everything to me. And the power of Google is 100% the reason why that has happened. So yeah, so that is why Google. And it's just something I think it's so complicated for so many business owners. But I think what I can pride myself in is I can break it down in a language that a client understands so that they're not overwhelmed by all of the scary stuff. I actually speak to them in analogy, so it actually clicks, and they understand what it means. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Guys, this is one of the most important things that you'll ever learn as a business owner, is that we need other people. You cannot reach all your goals by yourself. This is not a one-man show. This is the biggest thing that I've learned as a solo entrepreneur, if you like, is that I did it all by myself for a very long time, and you just can't grow. You literally can't grow when you're trying to do everything and learn everything. It's not our expertise. So my biggest advice to anyone watching who's a business owner or starting a business, an entrepreneur, is find people like Sonja that can help you. And now she's given, if you look underneath this, actually on the screen, and we'll put this underneath the posts also inside Facebook and on YouTube, so you can find this easily. This is a quick free training. So tell me a little bit about this free training.
This free training basically goes to the problems that business owners face but not being found on Google. And the majority of businesses that can't be found, I call them billboards in the desert. So they have this gorgeous looking website, but nobody can find them. So I call it like, okay, it's like a Ferrari without an engine. So my job is to put the engine back into the Ferrari. So it's pretty much in a language that they understand, and they can be like, okay, now I know why I can't be found by my ideal client. Now I know why my website's not converting, because that's my job. Like everything that we do is all about delivering a result. So yeah, and when I say result, I don't mean image clicks, I mean phone calls, email inquiries, online sales. That's it. That's what we track. We don't track newsletter signups. We don't track this. We don't track that. Our reports don't just look good on paper, they translate to sales. So this free training will help you understand the problem, so you can educate you on all of this technical jargon. You're like, well, I don't understand SEO. I don't understand Google Ads. Why do I need
it? Also, if you're looking, also these links will be underneath the video. If you've got any questions for Sonja, if you want to find her, if you want to work with her, please just click on the links and go straight to her pages, and she'll be monitoring these posts as well for a couple of days to make sure that people get the help that they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. There's a lot to learn.
Thank you so much, Elisa. Thank you so much for the opportunity and having me. And yeah, as Elisa said, happy to chat. I'm Irish, love to talk. So do reach out if you need any help at all. It's my passion. So yeah, thank you so much. My pleasure.
You guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you next week.